Hey everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. In this episode of Review Flicks, we're going to be talking about Godzilla Minus One's total worldwide box office, and also we're going to be discussing the director of the movie, making recent comments about directing a Star Wars movie. So, if you're new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news we have going on this channel. And with that down, we're going to be jumping into this article from the Sci-Fi and Fantasy Gazette. Toho Godzilla Minus One continues to menace the domestic box office, closing in on 100 million worldwide. So, director Takashi Yamazaki's Godzilla Minus One is showing extraordinary long legs at the domestic box office as the Japanese film surpasses the 50 million mark in North America. So, when it comes to this movie, it seems to be a force of nature, just like Godzilla himself. Everything leading up to the movie, all the hype and anticipation, and then after the release, the praise and the reviews and the word of mouth, everything has been absolutely incredible. But guys, we're going to continue to have a read of this article, see what we can learn about the global worldwide box office of this movie, and then we'll take a look at some of these comments from the director regarding directing a Star Wars movie, which is very, very interesting. So, Godzilla can't be stopped by traditional military powers or at the North American box office. I like that, that's quite good. So, in its 6th weekend in North America, Godzilla Minus One is estimated to gross just over $1 million to bring its North American total of $50.94 million. That's not bad for a film with a reported budget of just $15 million. Yeah, but the director has come out and made comments that the movie actually cost less than $15 million. We don't know the exact budget, but whatever it is, $15 million or less is absolutely insane how much money it's made and how well it's done at the box office. Regarding this budget, Hollywood needs to learn a thing or two when it comes to, the budget spent on this movie, because it's absolutely insane. So, worldwide, Minus One currently stands at 94.75 million. So, when we're used to talking about box office, obviously we're used to talking about, 800 million there, 900 million there, $1 billion there. When we're talking about Marvel and DC and those kind of movies, that's the kind of figures that we're used to talking about. So, when we think about 94.75 million, it doesn't sound like that much. But when you put it into perspective of the budget that was spent on this movie, then it's absolutely insane. It's made ridiculous amounts. It's really profitable. You know that a sequel or another Godzilla film will be coming down the pipeline really, really quick with the success, hype, and praise of this movie. And let's cross our fingers that we get it sooner rather than later, because Godzilla as a franchise, a IP, a character, a kaiju, whichever you want to call it, has never been as hot as what it is now. So I think they need to act quickly on that and, make another sequel sooner rather than later, as I say. So we have a post here from Gitish Pandya. I'm not sure how you say that. On Twitter, tonight Godzilla Minus One will break 50 million at the North American box office, started its run with an opening weekend of 11.4 million, spent 4 weeks in the top 10, and will end up with nearly 5 times that amount thanks to the terrific legs and excellent word of mouth. Foreign language films rarely ever get this high. I really hope that the success of this movie that it's had, at the box office, spurs people on to watch more foreign films. Obviously, watching this film is Japanese, you had to read subtitles, and it just goes to show that there's a plethora of films out there that aren't in our native English language, and people are missing out on some really good films because they're apprehensive about watching foreign films and reading subtitles. But I hope that with the success of this movie, like I say, it just spurs people on to watch more foreign films. But the success is great. Hopefully it goes on to get more accolades, more awards, it does more money. And like I say, let's hope we get a sequel at some point soon. Exhibitor Relations Co., through Monday, Japanese import Godzilla Minus One will have grossed nearly 51 million at the domestic box office, a towering achievement. And we have a little GIF here, so let's play this and see what it does. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I love that. Black and white, old-fashioned, love it. But yeah, 51 million at the domestic box office is great. That's more than what some films do. And the fact that this was a foreign film, like I say, it's done absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to see what Godzilla film they do next. Not counting the MonsterVerse. I'm not talking about the MonsterVerse. Obviously, we've got Godzilla X Kong. But I just want to see what other Toho Godzilla films come out next. I would love to see a Godzilla Minus One, but I want to see them inject some other kaijus in there as well and see what they do with that, because that would be incredible. But let's keep reading. So, recently director Takashi Yamazaki held a special screening of the movie at Lucasfilms. It was worth noting that prior to the whirlwind success of the film, Yamazaki let it be known that he would like to direct a Star Wars film. Do you think he had the chance to pitch anything to Kathleen Kennedy or Dave Filoni during the screening? Wow. Could you even imagine what this guy did with a $15 million or less budget for this Godzilla Minus One movie? Could you imagine what he could do with a Star Wars movie? Give him a low budget Star Wars movie, make it for 50 million or less, and give this guy the keys to the Star Wars kingdom, man. If this guy can do something in the vein of this Godzilla Minus One, but obviously with Star Wars, then we could be in for something incredible. And if he can import that success, yes, I'm using a pun, import that success from Godzilla over to Star Wars, then it would unite the Star Wars fan base. We'd have something incredible, and it kind of gets the mind going as to what this guy could do with the Star Wars franchise. Because God only knows, we need some help when it comes to Star Wars. It's been in the trash, it's been in the gutter for far too long, and potentially this guy could be the answer to our problems when it comes to Star Wars. So, from Culture Crave, director Takashi Yamazaki was at Lucasfilm this week for the screening of Godzilla Minus One. It was organised by Dave Filoni. Star Wars inspired Yamazaki to make films and recently said he's hoping to get a call to make one. Absolutely insane. Like I said, gets the mind turning as to what we could end up with. You know, the potential kind of Star Wars that we could get from this guy who just directed this insanely amazing movie. Yeah, let's get Godzilla and let's just transplant Godzilla into Star Wars and have a crossover between the two franchises. That would make all the money in the world. Could you even imagine, like, a bunch of, so you have a bunch of Jedis trying to fight off Godzilla, using the Force to try and fight Godzilla back? Like, that would just be insane. Obviously, I'm being silly, but you know what I mean? Like, this guy coming in and making a Star Wars movie could be great. But, so, also a special black and white version of the movie was just released in theaters in Japan on Friday. North American kaiju enthusiasts are currently awaiting news on whether the special version will also be released stateside. I really do hope. Guys, I did make a video on this, that they're making a monochrome version of Godzilla Minus One. It looks insane. They're not just turning the movie black and white, they're using like special technology, like the cell shading and different kind of manipulations with the camera to make it like really, really cool. And like I said, I made a video. I'll put it down in the description if you guys are interested in checking out kind of what's going on with this black and white version. But I really do hope that it's going to come to America and Europe, because I really want to see this kind of special monochrome version of the movie. It would look insane. So here's the cast and crew. I'm not going to try and even remotely try to pronounce these names because I'll butcher them. So if you need to pause the video, have a read of these names for yourself, guys, if it interests you. So, in a press release, Yamazaki, the director of the movie, commented on the film becoming the highest grossing live-action Japanese film in North America. That in itself is an achievement which is huge. So he says, quote, "I'm happy that Godzilla, of all the characters, has eclipsed the record that has not been broken for a long time. Looking back, I think the cast and crew were all working on the film with the same goal in mind, to make something entertaining. That is what led to such a wonderful result. I will always remember this." Yeah. The highest grossing live action Japanese film in North America. Wow. That's just absolutely amazing. I'm so happy for all the cast and crew that took part in this movie. They made something absolutely incredible. And as I say, you know, the praise for this movie cannot be understated. And I know I'm going to go back to it, but the fact that this guy wants to direct Star Wars, man, guys, jump into the comment section and put your pictures. If you had the director of Godzilla Minus One making a Star Wars movie, what would you hope to see in a Star Wars movie from this guy? Like, you know, there's endless possibilities, but this guy could do something special with Star Wars. I just want to hop over to Twitter quickly before we finish off the video. Let's read some comments on this information regarding him directing a Star Wars movie, and let's see what some of the audience online comments are saying about it, because it's going to be interesting. So, landing over here on Twitter, or X, whichever you want to call it, from Culture Crave, we've got that post regarding the director, Takashi Yamazaki, directing a Star Wars movie. So let's go down and read some of the comments, and let's see what people are saying about it. So, if they leave him alone and let him do his thing, it could be amazing. Sadly, I don't trust anyone at Lucasfilm to get out of the way and let this director direct. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of studio interference when it comes to these big IPs, you know, like DC, Star Wars, Marvel, that kind of stuff. A lot of the directors' visions sometimes get impaired because of the studio interference. They change things up. They don't let the director have the freedom to do what they want. So, 2024, Takashi Yamazaki will direct the first live-action Star Wars feature, filmed by a Japanese filmmaker. Huge fanfare and media coverage. some point in 2025 due to scheduling conflicts. Takashi Yamazaki's Star Wars project is currently on hold. This guy knows the film, he knows the movie industry. This is exactly what you would expect to hear from Star Wars at the moment. You know, they bring a director on board, or they tell you that a Star Wars movie is coming out, and then later on they tell you that, you know, directors or story writers have parted ways due to scheduling conflicts. And yeah, I really hope this doesn't come to fruition though. If they get Takashi Yamazaki, don't F it up. Don't encroach on his movie. Let him do his thing. We need to see these two face off against each other. Well, no, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about these two potentially facing off against each other. But Godzilla from the Monsterverse is like 5 times the size of what Godzilla Minus One. Well, maybe not 5 times, but he's a lot bigger than what Godzilla Minus One is. And he would basically just stamp on him. There's absolutely no competition. The weight difference, the height difference, you know, everything is just completely off scale. So Godzilla from the Monsterverse would absolutely kick his ass, no problem. I hope he gets the call. Yeah, wow. Could you imagine the first Japanese director on a Star Wars movie, and then having the guy from Godzilla Minus One as well? Like, the internet would blow up. It would absolutely explode. The movie was class. Would love to see him make a Star Wars film. Yeah, I mean, I really would as well. Like, it would just be incredible. Let's hope within the next sort of 6 months that maybe we get an announcement that he is. You never know. So always impressed by how many times they can craft a new screenplay for Godzilla. This is the thing, isn't it? Godzilla's been around for what, 60, 70 years? And yet they continue to keep making films with him. It's pretty much the same film over and over again. Let's not lie. Godzilla turns up, he wrecks shop, he goes back into the ocean. But still, you know, every time a new movie comes out, we get like a little bit of a fresh new angle. The technology's increasing. Godzilla's presence looks even better every time a movie comes out. Like I say, due to the increase in technology. And, you know, people just love it. He's king of the kaijus. He's absolutely menacing. And there's so many different things you can do with one character, you know? So, shame that Lucasfilm would never let him get on with their current leadership. Hope he gets the call. Next sequel, Godzilla in space. What? Star Wars inspired Yamazaki to make films. Does this mean Godzilla will have a Star Wars element going forward? Yeah, well, you never know. Like I say, Jedi vs. Godzilla would be fun. Chidora tries to invade the Earth for the millionth time. Godzilla. Am I a joke to you? Would love to see him make a Star Wars film. Okay, we'll read a couple more. Mythosaur. So the way that Lucasfilm can crush his very soul into dust. Hope he gets the call. This makes you wonder why there is no talent there to write original content. They seem obsessed with rewriting old IP, which destroys it. So, you know, a lot of people seem very happy and optimistic that he might get the call to make a Star Wars film. It would absolutely blow my mind and the internet would explode. But guys, as I say, would you be excited for Takashi Yamazaki, the director of the hotly made Godzilla Minus One, to come across and make a Star Wars movie? And if he did, what would you want him to direct in the Star Wars universe? Jump into the comment section, put it down there. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about that. But guys, I really appreciate you watching this. It's been quite a crazy video talking about the box office and the director potentially wanting to direct a Star Wars movie. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon.